Hey everybody, Toys of Arkham here, back with another review, and this time I am reviewing a figure from a company I have had no previous experience with. I've had no figures of theirs in my collection before. That company is Syndicate Collectibles, and this is the 1/12 scale version of the horror icon Pumpkinhead. They do make a 1/12 scale statue of this character, and they also have a 1/6 scale figure as well that's due to release soon. And I just went for this for the moment. Who knows, I might delve into the other versions of him as well. I absolutely love this character. It's actually, even though a movie that came out in the 80s, obviously Stan Winston, this was his first trip out as a director of a movie rather than creature design responsibilities that he usually would have had. Of course, he's responsible for iconic character creations, an unbelievable special effects artist, and I just absolutely love practical effects even more now than ever because there's such a reliance on the CGI and VFX and all these new techniques. So I still love the old creature designs of Predator, Terminator, Alien, and I still think to this day they stand up really well. And of course, Pumpkinhead is also practical effects. And this is a movie that came out in the early 80s, and for whatever reason, it just passed me by, and I only watched it for the first time a couple of years ago. And I have to say, not the one to usually get emotional in movies, whatever the subject matter, but this one got me now. I was definitely teary-eyed, and without giving anything away too much, those who even might be at all aware of the movie will know it's a revenge movie. And I have three sons, but one particular son reminds me very much of this kid who unfortunately, tragically, was killed by these delinquents who were just messing around in a fairly rural area that was otherwise peaceful until they arrived. But anyway, yeah, so it's a movie that is it hits me in the feelings, so to speak, and I totally relate with what the father does in it, and I think any father would. And of course, Pumpkinhead is the demonic spawn and creation of the man's hate and vengefulness, if that is a word. So anyway, enough about that. So let's look at the box. Obviously, that's incredible artwork. I would almost say that that's figure photography, just with a black and white or sort of a grey-blue image. It is a box that will open up like so. It says here, nothing can call it off. Really cool picture of it in that sort of dilapidated chapel church from the movie. And then on the back, it just says Pumpkinhead 1/12 scale figure. Let's look at the figure itself. So, have him standing straight up, just like he is in the movie. You can bend these legs. We'll go into that a little bit more detail in a second, but he should be more upright because that's the way he was in the movie. Very nice backdrop it comes with as well, of sort of woodlands. And as we do, let's have a look at the accessories. So this is a wooden cross that you see him hold in one of the final scenes in the movie, certainly in the last quarter of the movie. And this hand replaces this hand, and you simply will put the cross in that hand. So that's the only other hand it comes with, those two and this. It's nice detail on that. Creepy. And then also these two head sculpts. This is more of a grimace. And the paintwork is very good. You have to be careful with the lighting on this sort of figure when you're taking pictures, because too much light will just wash it out, and I suspect I might be even doing that right now, so forgive me if that is the case. And then we have this closed mouth, sort of solemn look, but evil nonetheless. There is a bit of a sheen off it as well, a bit of a gloss, but a very unique and disgusting looking character, almost like an alien xenomorph. Of course, that was the creation of H.R. Giger, but this is Stan Winston's design. Not meant to be an alien, of course, but you can see a little bit of a similarity there. Now, we don't have a sculpt of the final look of him in the movie. As the movie, I suppose, progresses, he becomes a little bit more similar in facial features to the father of the child who ultimately dies in the movie, but you can see their faces becoming very similar to one another. So let's go a little bit deeper into the detail here. So you can see this sort of vein work coming through these short sort of almost, no, they're not hooves, but they're feet, but they're 3 toes. It actually balances quite well. You can see I'm not using the tail to balance him there. He's on his own 2 feet, but it is narrow, obviously, the base with feet that size, so you just got to be careful where you put them. The joints themselves are very rigid and stiff, so I wouldn't be worrying about when you once you bend them into a position with the feet and the legs, you wouldn't be concerned too much about them falling. So yeah, the overall paint scheme is it's a sort of a creamy, yellowy brown textures going all the way through it, and that is how he looks. Could they've gotten a little bit more depth and detail into that paintwork? Possibly. But as I said, it's just about getting your lighting right, and you can maybe camouflage some of these joints and make it look even more real. So obviously this is the third head sculpt, which is more of a growl, and the eyes are whited over, which is obviously when he's in that killing mood. You can probably see it's not a great bit of paintwork on the teeth at the mouth. I might have to go in with a bit of paint on that myself. It's not fantastic. The other thing is, I was trying to, just for the purpose of this review, take the head off and just pop some of the other heads on. It's pretty tough to do that straight out of the box. These joints are quite difficult to remove the head. Anyway, it's a bit stiff. And also the hand, I tried to take that off just to put the other hand with the cross in it, and that wasn't moving at all. So unfortunately, you're going to have to use a hairdryer or warm water just to make these joints a little bit more subtle and supple, should I say, and be able to remove them. So on the back here, he has this tail, and obviously the back ribs and spine protrude through, and then the tail is like a rubber, and you can move that fairly easily. And you see this here, this is a bit of the backdrop that came off on his tail. That's annoying, because actually one of the selling points for me getting this version was that backdrop, because I like it for other figures as well, like American Werewolf in London or whatever, other figures, but this is after rubbing off of that, so I'm gonna have to fix that with a blue marker or something, but not sure how I'm gonna get it off the tail. Anyway, so the figure is quite tall. I'll give you an idea of how tall he is. I'll just get a let's just get a NECA Freddy Krueger and pop him down there. See, there's quite the difference in height. So on average, these NECA Ultimates are in around 6.5, 7 inches. So you can be sure he's probably about 8 inches tall. And obviously a 6 scale figure would be maybe even up to here. I mean, well over 12 inches if it's a 6 scale Pumpkinhead. And I have this on order actually in the statue form. So be interesting to see the difference in paint and everything else. But I just love the character. I love the movie. It's very hard to get a Pumpkinhead figure. Syndicate Collectibles obviously have come out with some now. And I'm just delighted that they did. It's a super job. They did a great job on it. For a company that I believe is relatively young. They did the Howling figure as well, but this is the one that really stood out to me, and I think they did a great job. Now, having said that, I still would love to see a company like NECA tackle it and see how good a job they do, or even Hot Toys. But like, it's a 1/6 scale one there if you want it, so you probably wouldn't want to be spending Hot Toys money if you don't need to. But for now, I'm very happy with this guy, really happy. Another horror icon for the collection, not too expensive either. And of course that backdrop is really handy to have if you have other horror type characters in your collection as well. So anyway, if you have any comments about this, or questions should I say, I'll get back to you. Just leave a comment down below, and if you give it a like, that would be greatly appreciated, and perhaps even consider subscribing. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.